Barnaby is the premier podcast spotlighting people of color. Every week, we talk news, what we've been playing, and tell you who's invited to the cookout. Our show is all about talking about gaming through a prism of blackness, because we are the culture. Welcome to Chicago, y'all.
Yo, what the deal be, everybody in Chicago? This is the Spawn on Me podcast with Khalif Adams. I'm your host, Khalif Adams, here rocking with you this week and almost every week. We had to take a couple weeks off because I was busy in the job hunt. Everybody who's out there who's been paying attention knows that I am looking for more work in the video game space and looking to get back into the mix. So I had to go hard to paint on the interviewing and application side of things. So we had to take the show not offline. I had to put a little bit of a break on production for a little bit, but we are back. And I'm happy to say that alongside some really good content with our last episode that we shared, our Take Us North interview with the team, talking about their fantastic game. And now this past week with some dope content on our YouTube channel. Please go check out our YouTube channel and all the places that we are on. We are on even more places now: Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, a couple other podcasting platforms as well. But our Ghost of Yote, I keep saying it wrong, Yote review is up and live. It is doing really well on YouTube and in other spaces. So please go check that out. I was also on Gamertag Radio with the fam Danny Pena talking about the game, and also on the DLC pod with Christian Spicer and Jeff Kanata, two of my favorite people on the planet, talking about that and Baby Steps, which is one of my favorite games of the year as well. This episode is a banger because we are talking to the folks from Acclaim. If you're familiar with that name, then you know that, one, you are a veteran gamer, you have been in the space for a long time, and also you are really excited for what the future of that platform and that publisher is looking like. And we had a dope conversation with the director of publishing there and partnerships to talk about kind of what the past, present, and future looks like for that team. And it was a really fun, dope conversation. Marc Anthony Rodriguez joins us to talk about not only all of those pieces, but we got a really good listen to, that gentleman's pedigree. And he has been in the trenches for a long time, making really dope stuff for some of the games that you and I both love. So we're going to take a quick second, run over to that interview, and then right after that, we'll have some closing thoughts. So let's go check out the interview right about now. What's good, everybody in Chicago? We are here for episode 557, rocking with the man, the myth, the legend, Marc Anthony Rodriguez, coming to us from Acclaim, director of publishing and strategic partnerships over at the new and improved and back from the abyss. Acclaim has come back to bring us some goodies, and we have Marc here to talk all about it. Thank you so much for being here and rock with me early this morning, because I am excited to talk to you, to talk about everything that happened at the Acclaim showcase and all the goodies that have come on. How are you doing? How's everything been going?
It's been going great. Thank you, first and foremost, Khalif, for this invite and this awesome opportunity to share everything about the new Acclaim. We were just talking before the start that we're both New Yorkers, native New Yorkers. Acclaim is New York as well.
Yes.
I'm talking to you from New York, so people are like, "Are you guys gonna get started up in Glen Cove again?" There's so much questions. The nuance that was absent from the showcase is going to hopefully be present here. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for taking time. I think, it is one of the things I love about our show is that we get a chance to talk to folks exactly about what they do, how they got into the space, and of course about the larger discussion about what this company has been able to do, not only in the years that we all grew up with, Acclaim as a part of our lives in various ways, but now the future of the company and all of you driving that. Before we dig into those pieces, we just talked a little bit about some of your history. How did you get into all this madness of gaming? Because I think a lot of folks, we all come into the space from various angles. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about how you got into the space as well.
So I'm a New York kid. I was born like many kids that grow up in Brooklyn. I was born in Queens.
Yeah.
So, so I was born in Flushing. I was raised in Williamsburg, East Williamsburg, Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
on Grand Street between Bushwick and Olive Streets, and went to parochial school, and went to high school in the city in Bertram. That's near One Police Plaza. Went to undergrad at Stony Brook University in Long Island. Played a ton of Acclaim games, like Maximum Carnage, the red cartridge, all that stuff. I see your rug for MK, obviously the MK series, taking it from the Midway arcades to the home console ports. When I graduated college, I graduated with a philosophy and Latin American Caribbean studies degree.
Oh yeah.
So I was either going to be a permanent student, teacher, a social studies teacher to start teaching Latin American history in high schools, or just like I ended up doing, taking a shot and start applying everywhere that had gaming opportunities. I was originally going to go to California because everyone just moves to California when they graduate, and if they want to get into acting or music or any kind of entertainment space, California is where it's at, the land of green and gold. I said in one of my TED talks. So once I graduated, I applied as I don't want to say it was a joke, but it was kind of like a dream chase. My moonshot was applying to Rockstar Games headquarters at 622 Broadway in the city. Everybody thought, oh, Rockstar is in Los Angeles or Rockstar is in Scotland, which it is, their headquarters, but their main business hub is in Soho, right? It's in Houston. So I got an opportunity to go head to head with hundreds of applicants at the time in the summer of 2005. And lo and behold, ex-Acclaim staff, when Acclaim dissolved in the early aughts, they all went from Glen Cove and became the production, quality assurance, and marketing teams at Rockstar. So the early production of like GTA 3 is all ex-Acclaimers, like the cool staff, the people that were on the cutting edge of things that didn't get an opportunity. So I always like to give flowers while people are alive. Lance Williams took a shot with me to pretty much give me, a kid from Brooklyn, the opportunity. The question was, what is your favorite game? And everybody was like, of course, GTA 3, GTA San Andreas. My favorite game is a rhythm game that everyone sleeps on, and it's pretty much Super Punch Out for the SNES. It is one of the original rhythm games. Pattern recognition. It has crazy art. Everyone talks about Mike Tyson's Punch Out. The Super NES version of Punch Out is where it's at. So by just saying that to all of these people, they know, okay, this guy's not trying to just like like he doesn't want to just join Rockstar to like butt sniff. It's more like he wants, you know what I mean? He wants to grind. So I started there with that we had a cohort of new employees. So they had like batches every 5 years. So I worked my first product at Rockstar, my first two products. They start you as like a beta tester in the summer. Like, okay, can this person write bugs, right? Can this person just test a game? Like, can they not be a consumer for a minute? And I was always doing that. I was finding the exploits and everything. I had Nintendo Power, so you can like find the cheat codes, but there were cheat codes within the cheat codes. There's workarounds. There was like, before game streaming and YouTubers, there was just magazines and paper and writing down the Konami code, and trading that with people at school. So I worked on Midnight Club 3 Dub, which was getting ported to the PS2, or from PS2 to the PSP, original OG PSP, and the Warriors product. Warriors product, it really gave me my chops on what licensing was going to be for video games, because that is one of my favorite all-time, like that's like a college poster movie in the early aughts. Anybody that went to school in the 90s and the early 2000s had like a Warriors poster in their room. They knew that anyone from New York knew about the Coney Island gangs and stuff like that. So I worked on those two products. They decided to up me to game analyst which is like a subgenre of production and quality assurance. And then lead, I ended up leading the Bully products. I had my voice, my wife's voice in all those games. My kind of magnum opus during that 5-year stint was working on the redo of RDR. So everybody doesn't know that Red Dead Revolver was a Capcom game that Rockstar bought the license and then published because it was made in Japan. Then Red Dead Redemption came around, so I was one of the co-leads on that, specifically for playthroughs. And then I had my big break with the Bully Scholarship Edition, leading a team of, testers and product people and marketers. So after that, I started working on LA Noire around 2000.
Oh my God.
And that kind of like deflated a lot of things in me. I want to say that I started looking for other opportunities.
Sure.
I was dating my girlfriend at the time. We were only dating, able to go out on dates. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to get married here because I'm dating you and it's like 11 p.m. and we're having steaks and my body is going to catch up. So there was an opportunity to move eventually to California. We drove cross country and I started working for Capcom USA out of San Mateo, the suburb of San Francisco. The beautiful golden ages, I guess, of my career, working on Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Dead Rising series, all the old Resident Evil remakes, the new Resident Evil stuff, Street Fighter 5, and then I did like a pivot in my career because I felt that I'm climbing ladders. I don't want to be too corpo. I'm kind of a unicorn, being like this Puerto Rican Mexican kid. Like I'm super Anglo, shadow. So like I look Anglo, but I'm very New York. So it's like so it's like I'm passing. They're shipping me as Anglo. So I'm like, but I'm still a unicorn in this being in this industry and having the trajectory.
Right.
My brother I got my younger brother into Rockstar at 19. So he was back in New York and he was grinding. He went to Avalanche. So we had like rival trajectories that were always like, because he's my younger brother, but it's not really rivals, like sibling competitiveness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
I'm always hyped about what he's doing. Went to Capcom, did that for 5 years, zooming that to working on launching the Arc Games platform at Perfect World International. So I worked with Shanghai for about 1.5 years, changed my career trajectory again because my wife wanted to have children. Came back to New York to be close to family. Had our son in 2017 while I was working with Major League Baseball on all of the streaming wars stuff that happens now. Everybody's like, okay, aren't we just doing cable with extra steps? Like, we didn't know that in 2015. No, it was still Gucci to like try and like ship like HBO Now and like all of these new apps. Nobody knew what the apps were before it became like a civil war, like a gold rush for streaming. So when that changeover occurred, I learned a crap ton about streaming technology. The biggest streamers were all under the guise of this technology that was built from Major League Baseball. It was part of Major League Baseball Advanced Media. Took another pivot in my career and was like, I'm done with this because Disney bought out this division.
Yep.
I worked for Disney to start and launch the Disney Plus product lineup for, connected devices, doing that stuff. And then I was like, okay, let's pause. This is the reprieve. Took a break and started my own company.
You are a madman. You're a madman. I love it,
started my own company called Vox Pop Games. So if anyone Googles Vox Pop Games, it is a digital distribution platform akin to Steam that was super indie focused, trying to get all of the New York and Northeast. I wanted to make like I said, the gold rush of California, like the Pacific Northwest, like Seattle, Oregon, California, as the de facto gaming hubs.
Sure.
And then Austin kind of got thrown in there as well. but move it to the East Coast. I was like, we have places in Boston, we have studios here in Florida. Like, why isn't the Northeast or just the East Coast in general popping with this, right? Yeah. We everything, everybody celebrates the ball drop, but everyone's waiting for Times Square. Like, let's be real. So we started this company. And it first started off as a middleware tool where you could plug it in. Then it evolved into a full-on platform that you could just download like Steam and download games and then give credits to streamers that advocate for the game. So if you didn't have marketers, it was like the early inflections in 2018 of influencer marketers.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like the ones that have higher retention because they have 30 of their closest community always there. They always have a chat. They always have an active chat. They're not trying to be the next big name of whatever in streaming. They are cool with their Twitch community and they build and they're reflective, but they don't get anything from streaming the latest AAA stuff.
Yeah.
So we gave them opportunity to try and then by de facto enhance those titles to maybe be, instead of an indie darling or a cult classic, to be the next big indie success.
Yeah.
Then in 2019, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it shut down the world. It was a help and a hindrance because we were going to start doing offices and people were going to start being like, we were going to start doing full on staffing. Yeah. And we didn't pump the brakes. We just built. We built more and more. We built our product lineup. We had 14 published games from worldwide developers in France and Germany and Australia. And like we wanted it to be this New York or like Play NYC structured item. And it became bigger, right? So anyone that Googles the term Vox Pop Games will see the lineup of the things that we did, right? We got nominated for New York Game Awards on our products. Like this, we were like entering an item. We got acquired by a company and then subsequently got shuttered by the VC.
Yeah.
So they overextended themselves. I exited and I was unemployed for about 3 months, which is like the longest stint outside of I've just been rolling career for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
I said, what am I going to do? And then my wife was like, well, why don't you become a teacher? Like you were going to do that when you were, it was going to be the games or teacher, and you could teach games or you could teach social studies and gamify it.
Yeah.
So I started that process, and someone who I worked with previously at Vox Pop, Alex Joseph, ended up announcing that he was the CEO of the company, of the new Acclaim. And I'm like, whoa. We're starting to claim back again? Like what are we doing? We're starting to claim? So I reached out to him immediately when that announcement happened. And then I obviously I'm a wrestling Mark. My name is Mark, and I'm a Mark for wrestling. So Jeff Jarrett's involvement, I was like, hey, yo, we're going to have Double J in the mix?
Yo.
So it was a no-brainer. Like Jarrett is one of those figureheads that it's like he is constantly in the mix. He is a content creator. He's a businessman. He's whip smart. If he was going to be involved with this, and I've already worked with Alex previously when he was doing stuff for Graffiti, because we had worked together with stuff at Vox Pop on the platform. I was like, what do I have to do? He's like, what do you want to do? I said, let's make the next Acclaim. Let's create the next Acclaim kids. I want, because no one knows now.
Right.
20. Like I'm a dinosaur, right? You and I. I don't want to age you. But we're
probably around the same age. Yeah.
I just turned 43. I'm a dinosaur in this industry, but I'd like to be an early adopter. Like I have Stadia controllers and like weird. I have a Ouya. I have like weird offshoot stuff. So I'm always an early adopter of things. So I'm always on the trends. Like what are people playing? Obviously, people are on Roblox. They're always on Minecraft. Minecraft is a retro game. Like let's not beat around the bush. It's an old game that they keep refreshing. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is a hybrid of Roblox and Fortnite. So like, what is the now? And where can we stand with what the new Acclaim is? Well, it's a cool logo. Okay, that's all we have. So what do we build from that? Well, we build a system where we're not chasing anyone, but we have inherent DNA of the next. And how do we encompass that, or how do we describe that? And we kept throwing around this retro, and I that always alludes to just old or older. Like people are confused. It's like people who like old games or old people that play games. Like
Right.
that's a retro gamer now, right?
Right.
Okay, so but we're in the future now. So what do we do? So okay, retro future, and then what do we always harken back to nostalgia? So we kept on going this beat of retro future nostalgia. What does that describe? That describes cyberpunk aesthetic, Blade Runner, the Jetsons, anything that is future facing that does not exist, like Back to the Future, where they had the video phones before the iPhone. So how do we create that gives a sense of familiarity to people that never were born at the time, grew up as Acclaim kids? So we built this system of, okay, I'm going to outreach to what is the now, what's trending on Twitter, what's trending on Blue Sky, what's trending on all the socials, every social media, where we were targeting and being pitched by everyone. People were pitching us all of the old IP plays, all of the old nostalgia, like pure old Acclaim. Now, I want to clear things up with that. All of that stuff is pretty much in the wind, right? When a company goes belly up, anything, they do a fire sale. They try to not owe creditors. They try to cut ties with people that they were paying. Like there's an instance of the game Juiced that was coming out, that it was originally an Acclaim game. So people have Acclaim copies of what the Juiced for Acclaim was, and then THQ bought it, and then that came out a year or two after the old Acclaim went defunct. This new Acclaim is about building the next generation of people that want to play high caliber, sometimes quirky, sometimes controversial, sometimes problematic, but always undeniably fun games.
I love that.
That's the spiel.
I love that. There are so many pieces to pull from that. First of all, congratulations on such an amazing career. I mean, it is not over. I don't want to make that sound like it's done.
It will be if we don't get wish lists up. So let's hope that we.
I mean, look, whatever we can do to be helpful in that respect, I'd love to be able to do so. But I as a person who also has tried to figure out how to get a good footing within this industry. So like I've worked at a couple of different studios now. This podcast is the reason I've been able to do so. As a kid from New York who stepped in many of the spaces that you stepped in foot for foot in a lot of those things. It is inspiring to hear your story about where you've been and what you've been able to do. And it also reminds me that when we were growing up, like you said, there wasn't an East Coast layer of the gaming industry in any real form or capacity, and people don't remember that Rockstar is in New York and that it's one of the biggest developers in that space. And now seeing that you and the rest of the team from Acclaim are planting roots there, that's also really cool, because I think I moved west because there were opportunities here, right? I would have loved to have stayed home in New York and work for a company like that and be able to do that kind of work there. But I think what it speaks to is the ever evolving landscape of this space, and staying nimble and trying to figure out good ways to look at the 1,000-foot view and say, all right, this is a really smart play here. This is really interesting here. I love hearing the fact that ex-Acclaimers were working at Rockstar and making games there. Some of the best games that for a generation that we grew up in were some of the biggest games that we've known. When you said the word, you worked in the Warriors, I was like, I gotta say, look quickly, like anybody who's worked on that game, I'm like, oh man, that must have been fucking.
Yeah, I worked on it. I have my voice in it. Like I'm in these kind of annals that I don't have to like name check or name. I don't need that because I have it for myself. I try and do it with my kids, and my kids don't care, right? Or my wife. My wife hates games, and she's followed my career, the trajectory. She works with the DOE. She's amazing. We've been together 20 years. We've been together the same amount of time that I've been in the industry, right?
Wow.
And that's very difficult. But the fact that the old guard of the old Acclaim was New York, right? And that was one of the bigs. And when that kind of fell off, it was like, okay, then we're not going to be doing any more business in, like, that was like the last vestige of hope to be like, okay, we're going to get something going in New York for like big either publishing or even development, right? I don't know why, everyone's going to talk about like AI this, AI that. It's just the dawn of technology makes it so easy and so capable. It's just, I think that the cost of operating, if you're not doing remote only, which there's pros and cons for everything. There's pros and cons for having a bodega has pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't you? I think it's risk aversion, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
Everyone is like, oh, you're going to do business in New York. You got to be big. Like, no, just take a shot.
Yeah.
I want this conversation with you to inspire the next person to grow out of the East Coast. Anywhere in the Georgia, the Carolinas, anywhere. Well, Carolinas obviously has Epic, like bring it to the Northeast. Bring it back to the New York Metro. Go do it out of Connecticut, like do it out of Jersey. Let's get it going, right? There's places in Pittsburgh and Philly that, you know, there's Mega Cat. There's like a whole bunch of different outlets there. But I really, there's a niche and there's a need. And I think that both of those things can be fulfilled and they won't step on each other's toes and it will really produce some really next level stuff.
The running narrative in my home currently is because I also am in that space where, like in Portland, there's like a very minuscule gaming component here. Yeah. And either I'd have to move up to Seattle or move down to the Bay or move into Cali. And the running narrative of my house is like, if there was a really big studio in New York that was hiring and we're willing to do remote or pull me back, I would go in an instant. Because again, I think that there's a layer there that we're both talking to, right? That I think is... There's an energy, there's a creativeness, there's a connectedness to the city and to the people who are here because you're literally in a space that is pulling from inspirations from every part of the planet. And they're constantly talking and they're constantly figuring out good ways to make dope stuff. And it would be really cool to see like what that would look like in a space that is a little bit smaller than Rockstar, but not small that it's like super mega indie. Or even if it was mega indie, that they would be able to do that kind of work in that in that city, you know, find a way to afford it, find a way to subsidize it, because Play NYC is still in effect. But I haven't been home so long, and I don't know what those conversations look like in those big ways. But it feels like it's still moving around.
It's moving. It kind of downturned. The COVID broke a lot of stuff. Yeah. Right. So for us to be like, you know, New York Comic-Con is not the same level of popping. Like it's what we did with Vox Pop was kind of like lightning in a bottle for the time, because like I said, I don't want to ever say that COVID was a gift or a curse. It was devastating. I had family members that were lost to it. It's terrible, right? Yeah. But I was able to grow a company from that was trying to enable worldwide developers to enact with people in New York and talk to hedge fund people and talk to, like, we were always at every Play NYC. They went from Terminal 5 to like the SVA market space. Like there is still that undercurrent. There's still like the Game Center, NYU Game Center. There's the CCNY program that we've been working with, the CCNY, the CUNY stuff. There's a whole bunch of Manhattan College stuff. So they're trying to reach out, and there's stuff even in the Bronx. And Hostos, they have game development courses. It's just, I don't want to say it's dog eat dog in New York as well. Yeah. So if you're... most of the game developers are very either reclusive. They don't have, like, I'm an extrovert. They don't have, they only have the introvert builders. They don't have the extrovert either marketers or sellers or just voices to be like, this is the jam, right? I've played so many games that went direct to itch that I was like, this would have made $500,000. Like, what are you doing giving? And I know it's like, oh, this is my art and I want to share it with the world. But like, dude, the estate of Basquiat is like $1 billion like brand. Like let's not. This guy was painting.
The estate sold out in the ways it needed to survive in those ways in a real way. So like, the same old vibe ain't the same old vibe. It's the same old price line. That's what it is. I mean, last year's price isn't this year's price, but that's a whole nother conversation. but that speaks to specifically, and I do want to pivot to specifically talking about all the Acclaim bits are we're also a unicorn in this space. There are very few of us left who are actually extroverts who are willing to be in this space and do and mind you, I'm an introvert. I'm a huge introvert, but I am not socially awkward. So there's an interesting balance there of like, you need people who are able to not only do the work of making a game, but you need those people inside your crew and to be able to pitch it, to be able to market it, to be able to go to a room with folks who are in the hedge fund space and be like, I know none of you know what this is about, but I can bridge the gap information wise to be able to be like, here's why you should care, right? So in that space, it's also hard because it's like, most folks who are doing that work on the indie space, they are the team of one or the team of two or the team of five. They're like all usually heads down on a lot of that stuff. That speaks to something go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You had a point.
That's kind of what is leading to my position at Acclaim. Right. It's literally like, we can do that. Like, pitch us. Like, we have the website, we have the funding, we have the we've kind of extended out what we have because of the all after March happened. I was onboarded in April, and we have been going 1,000. We're building the car on the racetrack, like we like to say. so we're going like it's full speed ahead, right? There's no stopping.
I do want to speak
all
to that.
Gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. I rock with that. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man, JQ. I love you, Fatu. Also, we got to talk wrestling at some point. And speaking about Jeff, who was one of my favorite guests on our show. We were lucky enough to have Double J on the show. And that was a moment for me where I was like, I can't believe my life right now. So it's dope to hear that y'all are all working with him and having him on the board.
Try pitching him game ideas right before an episode of Dynamite. Like, hey, I'm here in Tacoma. I was like, oh, you just landed in SeaTech where he's in this hotel. And we're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna look like a channel changing, and then you're gonna. So it's like so crazy. It's so surreal. It's crazy.
He's dope too. He's just like a really dope human being. Like there are people. We talk about that kind of genuine aspect of people when we talk about this stuff, and he is just very genuine in his excitement for it and his understanding and knowledge of it, which I think is also a thing I think a lot of people don't understand and give him flowers for. Is like, he's not just a person who's like putting the rubber stamp on stuff. He's like, no, I want to know how it works. I want to know how you're marketing that stuff and how you're playing that stuff and all those things, which I think is brilliant. I do think one of the things that I do want to talk to that you poked at was the balance now between the future retro that is the new Acclaim and the previous iterations of what the company was, and things that people like, again, in our group of age group, we remember, right? I think, how are you all balancing that when going out and speaking to and also getting pitches from folks? Because again, you talked a little bit about like everybody and mom is going to try to pitch you every old IP that was already in the mix that already made money. Everybody was kind of in that space and thinking about those things. When you're having those discussions now, when you're looking for folks to do partnerships with and folks to publish, what are the tenements and kind of tent poles that you're like, for you to be an Acclaim game, here's what you need to have in your package for making the world dope?
There's a DNA that I want to kind of explain. Like I said, we didn't have enough nuance in the showcase. Yeah. But in every single one of those games, we wanted to give allusions to something that was, but never has come to be. So a prime example, this spectacular title of Basketball Classics. Everyone knows NBA Jam. Everyone wants NBA Jam. We don't own the rights to NBA Jam,
right?
But we do own the rights to Basketball Classics, and this is a phenomenal product. This is one of the and I'm not even talking it up. I played this game when I was at Vox Pop, right? Yeah. This was one of those games like I love 2K. 2K is 2K. This is not 2K. Right. This is instant dopamine on your Switch deck. I'm on the L train, getting to the city through the grind, and I'm beating the LA East team because obviously we don't have the NBA license to this. But you're able to skirt that line with creativity, with artistry, with know-how, with knowledge, and pretty much give gamers an experience like we keep alluding to, that is retro future nostalgia. You think that you played something. You played maybe a double dribble. There's key lines there's key lines to NBA Jam in this. There's key lines to the OG basketball NES games, just NES basketball. So anyone that wants to see the potential for future or old IPs in the future, it's not just a demand for it, because that's obvious, that's coming everywhere, but it's also about the supporting now. We want to support these creators because maybe if there's enough of not just noise, but like the user acquisition funnel, getting someone to buy something, right? And I like to use the bodega reference. When you go into one of these corner stores and you see the cat sitting on the produce and you want to go buy an Arizona 99 cents, you know what you're getting. You're going to get that Arizona iced tea and you're going to go buy a slice from the corner. You know what you're getting. Every single time someone is selling you something, they don't know what they're getting. So you're taking the word of trolls online or people that you trust, or just your own instinct of just buying it, and whether or not this is worth not just money, because everyone's grinding for money. It's just your time that we are sharing right now that we will never get back. So I value the highest priority as time. So I'm thankful for having this conversation for you and for people listening to us, because they won't get this time back, and hopefully it's worthwhile in some way, shape, or form. What we are looking for now is, if we have old IPs that are viable for reacquisition, we will target those, but we also have to find the developers that are willing to build those strategically, because all of these developers are gone in the wind, right? The old Turok team is not the new Turok team that's coming out with the new Turok game by Universal Vivendi, right? The NBA Jam team is not the same. Like, they had the evolution with NBA Street, and then those games kind of floundered. Then everyone went full bore into 2K. So if you're looking for 2K in an Acclaim game or in basketball and b-ball classics, you're not going to get that. But you will get something that will be engaging, fun, undeniably repetitive, give you dopamine, because that's all we're doing is playing games for dopamine. You're trying to run up the tally, run up the scores, trying to beat the next level, trying to find the coolest way to beat the next boss or the next master of that era of gaming, of basketball. So in basketball classics, you obviously see allusions to NBA Jam. In Ground Zero Hero, you see allusions to Simpsons styling of artistry. As soon as you saw that green slimy monster, it was like, that's Homer Simpson head running around. So that's a Rick and Morty-esque Crimson Light, like Survivor. Everyone talks about the Vampire Survivors. The original game is Crimson Land, so buy Crimson Land, support Crimson Land. But Vamp Survivors I love. I have zillions of hours in that. We built out a game for Vox Pop that was called Outer Terror. That's another Crimson Light. This GZH game, Ground Zero Hero, is unlike any other Survivor. Like, not because it's just another Ran. It's because it's artistry, its gameplay, and its balance is something that I haven't played, right? So if I'm going through these partnerships and I'm looking to publish a game, I want to see something that is familiar but wholly unique. That's a razor thin margin. There's a razor thin margin. Familiarity is key, but if it's new on top of that, then that's when you get the smash. That's when you get Among Us or what was that freaking cat game? Astray. You get something that, like, I kind of played this thing, but it's brand new, so I want to enjoy this. Granted, B-Ball Classics came out during pandemic, so it's one of those content items that was lost in the shuffle. Has a very, very positive rating. We're bringing it to consoles in hopefully by Q1, Q2 of next year. We're targeting, because we have the 2026 lineup of all the other PC games that are coming out. You see in I don't want to name drop another one of our games.
I mean, I'm going to show a couple anyway.
I want to get okay. So go for it. Let's go there, and I'll give you.
Bam.
Okay.
We got
it. This is wholly for the MK crowd, for the Dead Cells crowd, for the Dead Space crowd. This is one of those retro future nostalgia. Dead Space is an old game, everyone.
Yep.
Dead Cells is an old game, everyone. This is a brand new game that dropped the same day as the Play Acclaim showcase. We are so thankful to Voidmaw. Eugene is an incredible solo dev that worked on this as a passion project for 3 years. And we were scoping and scouting. And we were like, we have, sports titles. We have retro nostalgia titles. We have old games that are familiar, but we need something bloody and gory and really, like, Acclaim is known for like the fatalities and all this other stuff. So Katanat, everyone calls it Katanat or Katan. It's Katanat. This is your Dead Cells, Dead Space fix. On the go play, like we're all playing on our Raj allies, or now the new, I don't know who's gonna buy them, the new Xbox $1,000 handheld. I'm gonna buy it obviously because I'm an early adopter and I'm a knucklehead.
Same.
But you have to realize that these are not bite-sized properties. These are games that you will sink dozens and dozens and dozens of hours into, right? 70 plus hour games. The roguelike genre is kind of, he also had to go against Silksong, right?
Sure.
That's obviously gonna win a crap ton of awards in December, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm never gonna call this an also ran. This is one of those products that it just dropped when it dropped, right? Yeah. You gotta you can't be reticent, you can't be a mind reader. People are gonna ghost drop. We considered this kind of like a shadow drop or something that was unknown because no one knew that we were gonna do this. He was even showing this at the Next Games Fest and the Future Game Show, and we were still working out the logistics of the deal. This is coming to consoles, obviously. So everyone that was asking during the Play Acclaim showcase, where is in a console? It is a process, right? Yes. Everything is built on computers. So obviously is going to make its way to consoles, but it takes time. You want to build your communities because each of the communities are their own ecosystem.
1000%.
Steam is Steam. EGS is its own thing. The Xbox gamer tag gamers, those are my fams. Achievement hunter heads, trophy hunter heads for PS. Nintendo, the Switchers and the Switch 2 folks and kin, all dozens of them. There are dozens of us. But we are building these games to be as wide of an audience as possible, but there also has to be that demand that is met. Right? We can't just build for the sake of building because we'll burn out faster than the old Acclaim. We want to last longer than the old Acclaim. So there's also budgeting to be involved. There's also like our strategic advisory board, and there's boards that we pin all of our pitches against. There's a chair of people that is not just me making the decision. I don't even have the final decision. The CEO does. So for me, it's like I'm advocating for you. If you're an underdog, if you feel that you're underserved, if there's a game that you dropped and you felt that it dropped at the wrong time and you want and you're still building content for it and you want to bring it to console, but you don't have that, give us a ring. Yeah. My emails are going to be available. Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on every social. Yeah. Just reach out to me. We'll evaluate it. I'm going to be realistic. We can't put everything out. Sure. Right. But build and show promise and have the tenets of that. The tried and true, is this fun? Don't just build for yourself. Build for other people that do not like games. Make your game as accessible as possible. Don't go overboard on accessibility options. Just make your game pick up and playable because time is of the essence. And we want to play all of these games. Everybody's backlogged, right? Yeah. So we want to spend some money on a good dopamine hit, and all of these games are that. So.
I mean, look, we talked about this when I worked at Intel some years back. We had a term called time to fun. Time to fun is really important. And you have to, again, we are vying for everyone's ears, everyone's eyes, and time, like you said, is of the essence. I think one of the things I loved about the showcase was the diversity of genre and the diversity of titles and the diversity of understanding that there was a game literally for anyone in that space, in that showcase.
Yeah.
One of my favorites that I definitely want to show really quickly was Grid Beat, because I am a huge rhythm game fan.
Same here.
From the school of oh my God, why did they just run away from me?
Rock Band, Guitar Hero, DJ Hero,
like all of that and some. I don't know why.
Cadence of Hyrule. There's so many things in this.
So many.
Where is it?
I'm so mad that game I literally had it in my brain. But that being said, it'll come to me as soon as we jump off the call. It'll be like that game that I just remembered. But I love stuff like this being in the space. Again, like this kind of visual aesthetic is something I've not seen before. This feels different in a lot of different ways, but it's also akin to so many different games that we grew up on and have an understanding of. How has it been to be one of the folks who was kind of ushering in this as a team? So like when you're going and you've done the showcase has gone live, everyone has seen it, you're getting feedback from folks, like what's the next thing that happens after something like this? Is it something where we all get in a room and you're like, all right, what's the next move that happens after those discussions happen, after something like that goes live?
We got out of we were building towards the post-mort. So we had a 2-week sprint to our post-mort to evaluate where we did wrong, where we just SWOT analysis. What was the strengths of the show? What was the weaknesses of the show? Where were some opportunities? And where are definite threats? We analyzed everything. It's not, there's, like I said, there's nuance to everything. So taking little bits and bites, everybody's onto like YouTube Shorts and Reels and all of this stuff. This game is one of those sit down and, okay, I'm going to jam to this. This is like, I'm going to do, because it's not only, I want to make it clear. This is not only just a rhythm game. It's a dungeon crawling rhythm game. So you're battling systems you are a series of hackers. You choose your hacker. You could build up however you want. And you're going with the cadence of the beat. It's a 120 BPM original soundtrack that's building and building and building, and like you're feeling the groove as you're going through it. And then when you're doing boss battles, it's really, really fun and really, really cool. So where we go from this after we kind of like shown this lineup is start building out the lineup for 2026. What is gonna, so I'm happy to say that this will be one of those also early 2026 games that people could get their hands on immediately on PC and console. And I kind of like need to like hammer that into people because it didn't make sense for them, but I know people that are in the know needed to know, so I want to make that aware. We are building these for both, right? We're for multiple ecosystems, right? PC and console. So I don't want to say consoles. I like to use the old adage of the old Acclaim commercials would be like, available now for home console, right? We don't know what the hell it is. Like, where is that a NES, Genesis? Like, they didn't have so available soon for PC and home console, okay?
This man knows what he's doing. If you don't understand that Marc is a master of his craft, he is master of his craft.
Hey, that's all the old Acclaimers. That's big shout out to like Lance Williams and all those OG Acclaimers.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand that there was also those old ads. When we built the showcase, we wanted it to be my kids wake up every morning and we are one of the last vestiges of cable television.
Yeah.
So we have like we don't have premiums. We have the premiums in the streaming tech, right? And then we have just basic cable. I always thought it was a good idea to just have basic for your kids because you want to know what's happening in the streaming wars, but you also want to know like what adverts, what propaganda, what anything is being sold to us on linear. I don't even call it linear, just regular cable, just cable, right? Yeah. I grew up in the era of the origins of MTV and Liquid Television and Ren and Stimpy and Disney Afternoon and all of these things, right? I helped build out, when I was at Capcom, the resurgence of the DuckTales remaster. That was like another feather in my cap.
That game was
building
so good
on that
too.
product.
Yeah, that game was dope.
So when we did that with Way Forward. So what I wanted to accomplish, we were working with this amazing content creator, Richard Cooks. Amazing Richard Cook. He's one of the foundational elements of directing what this vibe was going to be. The original cut of the showcase was going to be Super Nintendo-y.
Yeah,
it felt very, very direct. It felt very like like we gave too much. I think we pulled back so much with the nuance that we took away a lot of the explanation, like a exposition in what we were trying to accomplish.
Sure.
And it wasn't to be like the Wizard of Oz mysterious. It was just because we were running out of time and we did so many iterations of this that I was like, okay, let's do an audible. I'm not an executive yet. I was an executive previously. Let's make an executive decision together. Let's make a roller coaster ride in the form of channel surfing on a Sunday late night. And you're changing the channel and you're seeing you're trying to avoid Acclaim at all costs, and all you're getting is banger after banger after banger of content, right? Of game that will serve a purpose. Like, maybe I don't like this, but I like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't like this. Maybe I don't like this pixel platformer, like Mega Man style game, but I like this Dreamcast SSX tricky Hyper Yuki Syndicate snowboard game.
Yeah, Hyper Yuki looks dope too.
So we wanted to make it so that when my kids woke up and they turned on the television, they were able to see like interstitials, like little commercials in between. Like, I'm changing they were like, Dad, who's changing the channel? Like, I have an 8-year-old and a 4. Like, what? Who's changing the channel on this show? Yeah. It's like, no, this is the show. This is the games that we're going to come out with. It's like, these are all great. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I wanted that feeling for the 50-year-old Acclaim fan, and I wanted that for a 5-year-old new potential Acclaim kid. I want to build the next generation of fans of fun, cool, enticing games. I love Roblox. I have people get them off of that ecosystem for a few minutes and play something that has an ending. Play something play something that will allow you to stop and breathe and go out and go ride a bike and then come back with a scraped knee and then play the next banger that has, like, that's all I want. That's all I want to do. And I think that we're missing that. We're missing that as an industry. We are commoditizing time so much in the form of money for time, like either pay to win or pay for mounts or pay to look good in the thing and then just want to be like, stop. Just play a game, just have an ending, get that dopamine, and then in 10 years, like, man, remember that game that I can't remember? It was like a dungeon crawler and you had to go to the beat. You were like, boom, 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 boom. What was that thing? You were on like a grid and had grid beat. Yeah. That's what I want in 10, 15, 20 years.
I think there are moments that I'm happy you said that, because I think a lot of us in this space, especially the generation who is coming up now, they don't really have a frame of reference for ending things. Yeah. There is this, we're in this really weird balance of things that are potentially dying because of just like technology dying and transference of different kinds of media, and the save games, please save games faction is in one corner. You have the preservationist, the physical crew is still like, yo, we need physical here, and then you have folks like us and me who are kind of who are like first adopters for a lot of new technologies, right? Where I am a person who's like, give me new, but also have a very deep well of nostalgia. So like the game I was thinking about was Amplitude. Was the game I was thinking about.
There's also Beta Raider. There's also Beta Raider that was made by Timbaland and Rockstar.
Yes.
I worked on that game. So
you worked on that? Get the hell out of here. Yeah. I had that on my PSP. That was my joint for I was trying to make beats and I was whack. So I was trying to make beats on the train and I was using Beta Raider on the train. And I remember, that's a whole side tangent. We're going to run out of too much time. But I remember playing Beta Raider on the 2 train, going to work, trying to figure out how to make dope joints. Going to Brooklyn to 5 Spot where they would do beat battles,
beat
competitions.
Okay.
Where my boy used to play with MTV Music Generator. Everybody else had an MPC. He would bring a 13-inch TV, his PS2, and MTV Music Generator, and he would make dope tracks on that joint. I remember recording beats on Amplitude to a mini disc and making things on that because you had the optical out anyway.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's a whole nother podcast that we have to have multiple staff and multiple people just being like, remember the nostalgia pod. We kind of do that. I do another pod with the Super Nintendo Dads podcast. Those are old ex Rockstar people and myself.
Oh hell
and
yeah.
I'm like the third chair, like kind of like co-opted that pod, but
yes,
there's so many different ways if we could do a collab with. We'll talk outside of that.
We have lots of things to discuss.
I want you to honestly look at that example of what you just said.
Yeah.
You were building things in a situation where it was a commute.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's so many different. I mean, I don't know what your commute is now. If there's train, I know there's public transit, buses. There's other, but it's like, is that feeling that you want to have something on the go?
Yes.
My kids are now playing like the Mod Retro, the new Game Boy.
Yeah.
That's super. That's regardless of what the company lineage of that tech is amazing.
Right.
It plays all the old Game Boy Color and old Game Boy games.
Yeah.
Like that tech. That's what I'm saying. We're entering a resurgence of the early adopters and the preservationists are the same.
Yeah.
We are one in the we are one and the same.
Yes.
Right? So there has to be tech or at least game licenses that are preserved in certain factions. Like I was a person that had a mini disc player before the year before the iPod came out.
Right. Yep.
Everyone was jamming with mini discs. I still have mini disc here. I was also a person that bought a crap ton of DVDs from the Virgin Megastore, and they're all gone because they were garbage. Like, why am I going to hold like a giant wall of DVDs? Like, it's also spatial. Like, you don't have space in different places. You can't just lug around stuff. It weighs you down as a person.
Yep.
So there is a lane for people to be digital only and preservationists. You just have to preserve the code sets so that they can be utilized in whatever form and function in the future by utilizing it similar to CCO, similar to, the same way they're building Mickey Mouse styled games and Winnie the Pooh horror movies is the same way that in the future you're going to be able to do this with other games. At least preserve the idea and not just rely on like YouTube is going to preserve it or like these big mega corpos. There has to be some kind of MPO or like some kind of like concerted effort through the National Archives or somehow to preserve this. It's art, it's music, it's artistry, it's writing. So if there's any other medium to preserve, gaming is probably one of the most important.
And I think that's a perfect way to kind of end this part of the conversation. Because I think what you all are doing with these games that you have pulled into the portfolio that are smart, that are fun, that are interesting, that are visually appealing in a way that brings about lots of different versions of that dopamine hit that when I was watching through the showcase, I was like, ooh, that looks dope. That looks cool. Like I'm seeing tidbits of things from, again, that entire ecosystem that is both from the lineage of the kind of heartbeat of what Acclaim has brought to the world before, and bringing something very different and new to the table that I think I'm really excited for and know I'm excited for because I think there's a really dope angle in a lane that you get to own in a way that nobody else gets a chance to own, which I think is super, super cool. And that's very rare in the business that we're in currently, is that everyone is kind of doing this derivative thing. But when you find folks who are finding those really cool angles, they'll kind of poke at stuff in ways that are different, you got to give them some love and you got to give them some props. I think
there's still, there's still going to be people that are, this is the derivative of a derivative. But honestly, this Acclaim, this new Acclaim, this Acclaim Inc. venture is I've worked with the bigs. I've worked with Rockstar in the beginning. I've worked with Cap. This is the this is still not the culmination of all that work. This is the most exciting part of my career. And I'm not just saying that for a check. I'm saying that because it's like you just said, it's genuinely exciting to be on the cutting edge of being able to just bring cool, dope things to the world in a different way. They could call you the next Devolver, the next Rockstar, the next whatever. We just want to live up to the name. We just want to live up to the name. We just want to be, if we could get an ounce of that success and still have our integrity and the integrity of the developers who are building these products for us and allowing us. That is the thing that I want to thank before we end.
Sure.
Is all of the developers that have given us their trust and their willingness to not really say as a risk, but to want to brand their work as Acclaim. That is what I really am cognizant of and want to respect and always be the driving factor. That those developers, we gave them a promise that we're going to try to get this to the world, and even if the world has its own opinions and the internet will always do that, we will at least say that we tried even the most hardest and the most down and out. We will still work for them because that logo is not just a logo that means quality now, but it means fun and it means risk taking, and it means that you're going to have an experience unlike any other publisher.
Man, if you ever wanted me to run through a wall, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. Look. You don't even. That's the best almost wrestling promo cut I haven't seen in a minute, because that's good. But the thing I love about hearing you say that is, even in the short time that we've been together, just on this conversation, I feel that from you. That is the thing that I've had hundreds upon hundreds of conversations on this show with people who, you know, that their heart is in it, and you know that they're really pushing for something different, and they're really pushing for something bigger. And I love to hear the enthusiasm and excitement that you have for this project. I know Alex is out there. We'll love to snag him at some point to come on the show.
Yeah. He's gonna jump on it. I thank him for the opportunity as well, because this is, like I said, this is one of those things that is beyond a feather in my cap. It's a cyclical thing. I started my career because of Acclaim people.
Yeah.
I want Lance to smile. I want Lance to be like, you're doing it. You're doing it. Thank you for like bringing this. Thank you for doing something to bring this back. So that's what I want to do. I want to make people happy.
And it's one of those things of, like, you know, one of my friends who's got me into this industry was like, this is a very small industry. Remember the people that you came up with. Remember because people look out for people, and they look out for each other in really smart and good ways. If you're really about your shit and you know what you're doing, people will look out for you and make that happen. And the pedigree that you have shared today on our show is beyond everything that I could have imagined, and I'm very happy that we got a chance to have you on the show to talk about everything that's happening with Acclaim. Before we let you go, I want to give you your time to shine. Tell everybody where they can find more info about all the goodies that are coming to the platform.
Use whatever search engine. I hate just saying Google. Play Acclaim everything. So Acclaim Inc., Play Acclaim. If you want to pitch us, there's playacclaim.com/pitch. If you want to reach out to us on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on all the socials, we have a link tree. All you got to do is Acclaim Inc. link tree. The links will probably be in your bio. You can link up with me on LinkedIn. We could connect. Join our Discord. It's growing. It's really cool. Everybody's chill. And if you're not chill, you know, get out of the space. But we've accomplished. We are managing things well. So we really want an influx of cool, positive people. And if you want to pitch me directly, my email is tied to everything. It's marc.r@playacclaim.com. That's pretty much it. Shout out to my wife and my sons who put up with my madness. And I gotta go pick up my kid because he gotta go do Taekwondo today. He's doing nunchucks. So
snap! Be careful. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Exactly.
Watch your head.
Exactly. Khalif, I want to thank you. Thank you again, sir. Thank you.
No, seriously, thank you for taking the time. Again, our New York hearts are bound by all the goodness there. We'll definitely love to circle back and talk more goodness about this, both on another episode of the show and off the show. I think there's a lot of ways we could do some dope stuff together. And everybody at home, please give the team your love, because this is a really dope, amazing crew that's bringing back Acclaim in the coolest ways. Lots of stuff that I have to go through and go play. That basketball game, Basketball Classics, is already speaking to me. I got a chance to play a little bit of it, but need to dig
You gotta unlock all the bosses and then the master crew. So you got some time on. You got to get those achievements up. Get your achievements
I got to work on it. I've been tasked now. I got to knock it out. Everybody at home, want to thank you all for watching. We're going to take a quick break, run a couple of quick ads, and I'll be back with our outro for this episode of Spawn on Me. Again, thank you, Marc, for your time. And everybody at home, take a look at this.
Hey there, my name is Naomi, and you might know me from internet things like hosting for IGN. I'd like to introduce you to my new show, This Week in Gaming. It's 20 minutes, short and sweet, and every week I go through all the important gaming news that you need to know, and then we have folks on like Khalif Adams, who shows up quite often, talk about all the important news. And you get to listen to it wherever you get your podcast, so it's easy to find. Just look for This Week in Gaming and make sure to give it a follow. And every week, Monday at 9 p.m. Pacific time, you get a brand new episode. I hope you'll join me.
Yo, that was a banger of an interview. Massive love to Marc Anthony Rodriguez coming to us from Acclaim to talk about all the goodness that they are putting out in the world. I am very excited about the games that they had in their showcase. Man, I would love to just sit down and talk to him even more about just some of the stuff that they're working on and talk to some of the folks who are in his fold in the gaming space, some of the ex-Acclaim folks that he had been talking about, and some of the connective tissue between all of that and the games we're getting a chance to play now. So thank you, Marc, for so much time. I know we were supposed to be on for probably 30 minutes, and that wound up being an hour or so. It's always great when you can get folks' time, and they're just so beautifully eloquent about all the things they've worked on. So I'm very excited about the future of Acclaim, and I think you should be too. So check out the links in the show notes. You'll be able to see more of the work that they're doing, and give us some love in the show notes as well. When this goes up on YouTube, when this goes up on the podcast feeds, throw us a comment. I always want to bring back Ask Ka Anything. I want to bring that show back and would love to have people send me in questions that I can answer every week and make some dope content out of that. So I'd love to be able to do some more of that. So if you have any questions, shoot those over as well. We can get that into some new dopeness over on that end. Until then, we're going to get up out of here for this episode of Spawn on Me. We have a lot of really fun things to talk about this week. The conversation around the EA merger just happened. I didn't even talk about that this episode because this was a long episode. I'm looking for other folks to be able to bring onto the pod to talk about that. And there's a couple of guests I'm looking to steal and have on the show as well for one of the upcoming episodes, because there's a lot of really dope stuff to talk about in the space. So with that said, much love. Wash your hands, wash your butt. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and everybody else around you. And until next week, we say peace.